Alrighty, we'll get started with today's class. Thank you everybody for attending our third and final webinar in our Food as Medicine series. I am going to hand it over to Kaylee Meyer to discuss cooking healthy meals.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for having me here today. I'm a registered dietitian at Open Arms of Minnesota, which if you've been to the first two parts of the series, this beginning part you might have heard already, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about what Open Arms does, and then I'll jump into the presentation on cooking healthy meals. So if I can advance the slide. Here we go. So Open Arms, we're a nonprofit located in Minneapolis, and we recently opened a second location in St. Paul. And we deliver medically tailored meals to people living with chronic illnesses. Cancer is one of those, so it's illness-based if you are eligible to receive the meals. So we make those meals from scratch in our kitchens, and we have volunteers that help deliver those meals to clients' homes. We also have dietitians on staff, myself included, that provide nutrition education and counseling to our clients. So we provide lunch and dinner sets to our clients. Clients can choose if they want just the lunch, just the dinner, or both, but this is what is included. In the lunch, there are 4 frozen entrees. We make them from scratch and then we freeze them. A sandwich kit, a salad, fresh fruit, and then we also have a bakery and we make fresh desserts. And then the dinner set is 7 of those frozen entrees. Another part of our program that is new and we're super excited about is our culturally specific meals program. We've currently launched the Hmong menu for those in that community. That's super exciting, and we are also working on developing an East African and a Latinx menu. Our other menus available are things like vegetarian, heart healthy, things like that. So if you or someone you know might be interested in getting meals from Open Arms, you can check out our website, openarmsmn.org, and then there's a Get Meals tab. There is a client portion of an application that you can fill out, and then we do need someone on your medical team to fill out the other part. It doesn't have to be your doctor. It could be anyone on your care team, like a social worker, dietitian, nurse, anyone like that. If you have any other questions too, you can contact our client services department at Open Arms. So just a quick review of the last 2 presentations. If you didn't get a chance to see those, I know they were recorded, so you could get access to those. But the first one, we focused a lot on common eating problems during treatment, because treatment affects the whole body. It affects eating, and you might have like a lack of appetite, nausea, vomiting, things like that. So we discussed ways to help kind of mitigate those problems with what to do when you're feeling nauseous in terms of food. Maybe you're having dry saltines, applesauce, following that brat diet, bananas, rice, applesauce, toast when you're super nauseous. You might have changes in taste and smell, so helping with that. And then in the second presentation, it focused on healthy eating and nutrient recommendations, and what the cancer-fighting foods are, the research behind that, focusing on fruits, vegetables, plant-based proteins. And then also at the end, talked about some hot food topics around cancer. So today, we're going to take those cancer-fighting foods that was talked about last time and discuss how we can incorporate those into your daily eating. So in the coming slides later on, you'll see recipes and different ideas for meals to have. And I tried to pick recipes that had one of these cancer fighting foods in them. And just a quick review again of why these are cancer-fighting foods. A lot of plant-based foods have things called phytochemicals in them, which is basically a fancy word for it's good for us. Those properties keep our cells and our DNA from being damaged, so it helps create our cells turn over so much. It helps create a healthy amount of cells in our body, which is essential if you are fighting cancer, trying to if you're a cancer survivor, or even if you're just trying to prevent illness and disease. Last review slide, and we'll jump into today. We talked about the New American plate, which is the plate on the right-hand side. The left side with the big piece of steak, peas, and potatoes might be something that you had seen as a typical dish in the US many years ago, and maybe still do. But we're trying to work more towards the right plate, just because that has a lot of plant-based foods that have lots of those phytochemicals, vitamins, and minerals that help keep our immune system strong. And the middle plate is somewhere in between, where you're having a smaller portion of meat. You have a whole grain there with the brown rice, and then a non-starchy vegetable, green beans. So not to say that any of these are bad per se, but trying to have the plate on the right more often than the plate on the left would be a good way to look at it. So tonight we're going to talk about food safety, and then I have a bunch of breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack ideas for y'all. So food safety, we're going to touch on that quick, just as we all know that's an important part of cooking at home, and we don't want to cross-contaminate anything or make our food unsafe to eat. And if you already have a compromised immune system, we don't want to put any more stress on it, so we just want to make sure we're being safe. So the why behind food safety, we're trying to avoid foodborne illnesses, and foodborne illnesses can happen if we don't cook our food correctly or to correct temperatures. We use contaminated equipment or cross-contaminate like meat and fresh food that you're going to eat, and then not practicing personal hygiene. And the foods that are most at risk for causing like a foodborne illness are foods that need to be refrigerated. So meats, dairy products, already cut up fruits and vegetables, things like that. So here are some food safety tips. One of the easiest things and also best things that you can do is to wash your hands before you start cooking, in between handling raw meat and touching other foods, or touching up if you touch several surfaces, you can wash your hands. Cross-contamination, try to use separate cutting boards if you're doing meat versus like fruits and veggies, and wash your hands between those steps. And then the temperature danger zone. So bacteria thrives in the range here listed here, 41 to 135 degrees Fahrenheit, which if you've heard the saying like keep your cold foods cold and your hot foods hot, that's where that comes from. So you want to keep your cold foods under 41 and your hot foods above 135 degrees. And then temping your meats over here, just a big thing to make sure that you're cooking your meats to the correct temperatures. You can get one of the thermometers here. I have a couple pictures if you don't already have one, to make sure you're cooking your meat to the correct temperature. The one on the bottom is a just regular thermometer. It's pretty cheap. I think they're only a few dollars. Or you could do the other one is a little bit more expensive. The digital one, that's what I was trying to come up with. All right. Just a few more things for food safety. Just make sure you're checking the best by date on packaged foods or the use or freeze by date on meat specifically. And then also looking out for different like containers that say use within blank days of opening. That would be on like some sour creams or like chicken broth, different jars like tomato sauce, things like that. So just being conscious of how long those have been open if you don't use it all and put it in the fridge. And then thawing meat in the fridge or under cold running water is best practice. It's not considered food safe if you thaw meat on the countertop or like in the sink. And that's just because you're exposing it to that temperature danger zone, because most of our homes are around like 70 degrees or so, and anywhere between 41 and 135 is where bacteria grow and thrive. So we don't want to put our meat in that temperature. Leftovers, try to use within 3 to 4 days. That's on the being on the cautious side, but if it's nearing that like 4th day and you don't think you're going to get to the leftover, just throw it in the freezer. And then just another point here to make sure you're wiping down your surfaces often. That can help to make sure that bacteria doesn't stay alive on those surfaces. And then the very last thing with food safety is organizing your fridge. So just 2 things here. One, we want to use the first in, first out method, which just means if you have something already in there, like some eggs, and you buy more, you want to put the newer ones towards the back, so you use the older ones first. And then second is organizing your fridge top down. So on the top, you're going to have things that are ready to eat, like the sandwiches shown in this picture. This would also be a good place for any like cut up fruit or veggies that are ready to eat. You don't need to do anything to them. You're not going to cook them or anything. Then in the middle, we see lots of fruits and vegetables. And then on the bottom, you can't really see it here, but that would be where like your deli meats go, cheeses, dairy, that kind of thing. If you have any raw meat, that would want to be on the very bottom, just because if you put it in the middle or on the top, there's potential for like juices to leak onto your other foods. So now we're gonna move into some meal ideas and cooking. I try to make cooking easy and fun. I know it can be stressful sometimes, but we're gonna try and I'm gonna try and show some like easier ideas. I will say that a lot of these ideas are maybe like full meals and aren't necessarily for if you're like in active treatment, like you just had treatment this week and you're not feeling good. The couple of past presentations had good ideas for when you're not feeling well and you need some kind of fuel. Some of these might work too, it just depends on the person, but just wanted to mention that. So in preparing to cook, just some things to keep in mind and for planning purposes, because I find that if I plan out some meals or do some preparing before I even get to the cooking, it helps just kind of make the process a little bit easier. So planning some meals for the week by making a grocery list, like pick a couple of recipes that you want to do, make the list. One idea too is using like a drive up grocery service. I love using Target just because they don't charge you anything for them to bring it out to your car. And that's a good use of that service. And especially if you are someone that is struggling with like fatigue or low energy levels, then you're not having to walk around the store. You can just order it on your phone and then drive up. I think other places have them, Walmart and Hy-Vee maybe, but I haven't tried those ones. And And then with cooking, like there's no need to cook every night. You can try like a couple recipes, make a bigger batch than you need, just so you have leftovers. Try to just start off with a couple here and there. And then if cooking is not something that you're able to do at the moment, or you don't have anyone that can help you with cooking, look into like a meal delivery service like Open Arms. There's also Meals on Wheels could be another option. And then going along with preparing to cook, just looking at stocking the pantry so that if it might be easier to throw something together if you already have some shelf stable things in your home. So frozen fruits and vegetables are great for smoothies. Canned goods, you can throw together a soup. Same with dry grains. You can throw those in a soup or make like a pasta bake. And then having other various items that are used commonly in some recipes like pasta sauce, vegetable or chicken stock, things like that. Okay, so we're gonna jump into breakfast, which is my favorite meal of the day. So you'll notice that there are a lot of options for breakfast that I have listed here. So first thing is a strawberry banana green smoothie. I love smoothies. They're a great way to kind of jam pack a lot of nutrient dense foods into a drink, which can be a great option if you're trying to get in more fruits and veggies or protein or calories. You can kind of tailor it to whatever you need. If this one doesn't sound super appealing to you, you could go for like a peanut butter banana smoothie. And that one would be great for if you're looking for like more calories and you're trying to like maintain your weight or gain weight. You could do like a peanut butter, banana, Greek yogurt, and milk for a smoothie. You could also, for this one, you could leave out the spinach if you're not a spinach fan and make it like a strawberry banana smoothie or add in some mixed berries like they did on top. You could blend that together. Or you could do like an orange dreamsicle smoothie and do orange juice, vanilla yogurt, and ice cubes. And you could throw the banana in there too. I just always throw a banana in because it makes it a nice, like smooth consistency. So smoothie is one idea for breakfast. Could also work at any time of the day. A lot of these I grouped into breakfast, lunch, dinner, but whenever these sound good to you, that works. So I have a video. Let's see if it'll go here. I have a couple of videos within this presentation of some different recipes. Okay, so yeah, that was pretty straightforward for a smoothie, but we had fun making the video. If you want like a little bit thicker of a smoothie than that, then you could do frozen banana. No, there's no volume for it. There's some music, but it's basically elevator music, so you weren't missing anything. There was a question in the chat if there was supposed to be volume in the video. No, it's just elevator music. If you want like a thicker consistency than what was shown there for the smoothie, you could do frozen banana, which I find it easiest if you take it out of its peel, put it in a Ziploc, and then in the freezer. If you leave it in the peel, it's harder to get off once it's frozen. Or you could add some Greek yogurt if you want thicker consistency. So here's my next breakfast idea. We have a blueberry chia overnight oats. These are great because it only takes a few minutes to prep this, and then you can have like, this makes a couple, 2 servings. So you'd have your next 2 breakfasts ready to go. And in a jar, or you can do it in like a container, it doesn't have to be in the jar form. You put half of everything listed in here in each of them. So you do half a cup of oats in each, 1 cup of milk. You can, any kind of milk that you prefer, a tablespoon of chia seeds, half a cup of blueberries, and then I wait to do the walnuts until when you're actually going to eat them, because if you put them in the night before, they'll get like kind of soggy. But you throw the oats, milk, chia seeds, and blueberries together, let it sit for at least a couple of hours or overnight or for a day, and then throw the walnuts on there, and it's like an overnight oats situation. If you are not a fan of oats, you can do yogurt instead in this recipe. If you aren't someone who likes chia seeds, those are in there for like protein and fiber. So you could do like a protein powder instead, or you could do like a spoonful of peanut butter. So there's lots of different ways that you can kind of mix this up, and you could do different nuts or different fruit to add more variety if you're someone that likes this and wants to do it in different ways. And sorry, I forgot to mention that there is like a recipe booklet. You may have already received it, but if you haven't, all of these will be in that, so you don't need to try and like write this down or take a picture right now. And then also for this one, if you're someone who prefers like hot oatmeal instead of cold overnight oats, you could just make this that morning by microwaving the oats and the milk and then adding the other toppings. If you're going to do that way, then I probably wouldn't include the chia seeds, just because the chia seeds are pretty like gritty and they need to be soaked in something for them to expand and be more like tolerable. So if you're going to do the hot oats, then you can just do some other form of protein and fiber, like the protein powder, peanut butter, something like that, or almond butter. Next we have a vegetable breakfast scramble. Just another idea of more of a savory breakfast instead of sweet, and getting a lot of those plant-based foods in there with the spinach, the tomatoes, avocado, hummus, and getting a balanced breakfast here. You have protein from the hummus and the eggs, you got the veggies from the tomatoes and spinach, and then you got some healthy fat from the avocado. I told you all that my favorite was breakfast, so we got lots more ideas. We got a breakfast sandwich, just trying to mix things up, try to add variety to keep food kind of interesting and intriguing, especially if you're having low appetite. You can do like a whole grain English muffin and an egg, avocado and tomato slices. Kind of already talked about the hot oatmeal, so I'll kind of breeze past that one. And then last, if you're someone that really enjoys cold cereal, Cheerios and Wheat Chex are two that are lower in sugar but have more fiber. So those could be a good option if you're looking for a cold cereal. And then if you are on the go in the morning, you don't have time to sit down for one of those breakfasts. These are some options for on the go. Could do some frozen Kodiak waffles, which are pre-made waffles, but they have more protein than like an Eggo waffle. You could do a Greek yogurt. Oikos 000 is just a brand that I like. It has like no added sugar, has more protein than other options. I love buying hard-boiled eggs at the store. They're already cooked, so it's an easy snack or add to my breakfast. And then toast is an easy thing to bring with you, so you could do like peanut butter, almond butter toast with banana and cinnamon on top, or you could do an avocado toast or something like that. All right, we made it through breakfast. Now on to some lunch ideas. A buildable for lunch is the theme here, so trying to add some variety and also get all your different kind of food groups in. You can start by choosing a grain. If you want to make this like a quick prep situation, you could do like the microwavable rice that come in the little packets. There's ones, just look for like the plain brown rice ones, for example, that don't have like added sodium or other things. If you want to look for kind of a more clean, like low ingredient option. Or quinoa or potato is a great option too. Then we're gonna look for a protein. You can do like the already cooked chicken, canned chicken. You want to make it quicker for shrimp, you could get the frozen shrimp that all you have to do is thaw it. Beans are a great option for protein. Same with tofu. And then hummus would be another idea. Then just mix up your veggies. You can do raw, cook them, get frozen and microwave them. Just try to keep the variety up and lots of different colors of vegetables, because those different colors represent different nutrients that help keep our immune system strong. And then last, you can throw a healthy fat on there, like avocado slices, maybe a pesto sauce. Some nuts and seeds is a great option, or a salad dressing. One salad dressing brand that I like is called Bolthouse. It's a yogurt-based dressing, so if you're someone who does eat dairy, that could be an option. And this is just an example of a bowl put together. So got lots of vegetables here. We got sweet potatoes. That looks like, I think, pickled onion, cucumber and spinach and carrots. For our proteins over on the far right, we got lentils. That's another great option, and you can buy those where you can microwave them, I believe. And then we got some seeds for our healthy fat and couscous for our grain. If you're looking for lunch on the go, you could do a wrap. Kind of similar to the bowl. Looking for our whole grain, you can get a wrap that's whole grain, such as the Flat Out brand or Angelic Bakehouse, I think, has a 7-grain wrap. And then you can get the protein from the hummus and the turkey, fat from the avocado, and then tomato for your veggie. Or you can kind of do like a lunchbox option, still getting your veggies, your protein from the egg, and then a grain from the big bar along with some fruit. And then if you're tired of whatever you've been doing in terms of sandwiches. I just wanted to throw some more options out there. Doesn't always have to be turkey and cheese or peanut butter banana. You could do, instead of like a bacon lettuce tomato, you could do avocado lettuce and tomato. You could get some canned chickpeas and mash those up and add like some cucumbers and tomatoes with those. So there's lots of different options. You can make your own like egg salad, get some of those hard boiled eggs that we talked about earlier, mash those up, add some lettuce. So there's lots of different options. And then dinner. So the next slide is a video. And it's a Tuscan white bean skillet. So it is a few minutes. And I'll just let it play and you all can watch and we'll talk about it after. Okay, so just wanted to point out a couple of things from that video. If you noticed, I was cutting off the kale leaves. You don't really use stems too much if you're gonna be, unless you're like grinding it up, just because those stems are pretty tough and bitter. And then with the canned beans, I suggest rinsing them like in a strainer or just in their actual cans. To canned goods, like some of them, they put quite a bit of salt or sodium into them to preserve them, but we can rinse them off to take off some of that extra salt if you're watching your salt intake. But yeah, that recipe I really like because it's one pot. I know I use a lot of different things to kind of show you all the different ingredients, but you really don't have to use too many dishes. And it has a lot of those cancer fighting foods in there. So next option is a black bean lentil soup. This one is super easy. You can throw it all in a pot like the last one. And got some good plant-based proteins in there with those beans and lentils. Another option is a chicken and rice dish that you bake in the oven. If you want, you can sub the chicken for like a plant-based option. Or if you are going to do the chicken, but you want an easier option, using canned chicken, frozen chicken, whatever kind you want can work just fine to save some time. And same with the rice, like we talked about earlier, you could do the microwave rice, or there's like an instant rice. So those are a couple options. And this one's fun too. You can always sub out certain things that you like, don't like. Could leave out the corn. You can add on some like mango salsa or pineapple salsa, different things to kind of change it up a little bit. All right, last part here is just some snack ideas. If you're not feeling up to like a full meal or you don't have time for a full meal, here's some options, or between meals. What I try to do with snacks is have like a fruit or a vegetable and then some type of protein. So that fruit or vegetable for those antioxidants, those phytochemicals, the fiber from those fruits and vegetables, and then protein helps keep us full, helps keep our body strong. So these are a bunch of different options. You can make them slightly different to your liking too, but like the Greek yogurt and canned peaches is a great option, and you could add like cinnamon or honey on top for an extra topping. Whole grain crackers with canned tuna is a good shelf-stable option that you could keep on hand. Yeah. And then lastly, some snacks on the go. We've already talked about some of these, just but wanted to put them up again. Like you can get the hummus in these single cups. That's the Target brand, the Good and Gather. But they probably have them other places too. You can also get like the peanut butter in single serving sizes. So lots of different options here, just whatever works best for you or what you can keep on hand. And